The 15th century was a time of immense change. Europe was emerging from the Dark Ages. It hungered for new experiences and riches. Two nations, Portugal and Spain, stood on the precipice of history. Both were driven by a shared ambition to discover a sea route to the east. This ambition ignited a fierce rivalry. Portugal, a small nation with a long coastline, was the first to embark on this quest. Led by Prince Henry the Navigator, they sought gold and a legendary Christian king in Africa. They also sought a way around the African continent. This would give them access to the lucrative spice trade of the Indies. Spain, meanwhile, was focused on westward expansion. Christopher Columbus, convinced the world was round, believed he could reach the east by sailing west. His voyage in 1492, financed by the Spanish monarchs, would inadvertently lead to the discovery of the Americas. This discovery would reshape the world and intensify the rivalry between the two Iberian nations. The stage was set for a clash of empires. This rivalry would change the course of history. It left an indelible mark on the world we know today. Let us delve into this epic tale of exploration, competition, and the clash of two great empires. The rivalry between Portugal and Spain was not just about spices or gold. It was deeply rooted in their shared history and royal ambitions. Both nations had spent centuries battling for dominance on the Iberian Peninsula. The quest for overseas empires was an extension of this long-standing competition. Prince Henry the Navigator, younger son of the Portuguese king, was the driving force behind Portugal's early maritime exploration. He established a school of navigation in Sagres. He sponsored numerous expeditions down the African coast. Henry's vision was clear: to expand Portuguese power and wealth through maritime trade. Spain, newly unified after the reconquest of Granada from the Moors, was eager to assert its own power on the world stage. Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand saw an opportunity in Columbus's ambitious proposal. They agreed to finance his voyage, hoping it would give them a competitive edge over Portugal in the race to the east. Columbus's discovery of the Americas in 1492 would prove to be a turning point. It opened up a new world for exploration and conquest. This intensified the rivalry between Spain and Portugal. It set the stage for a global struggle for power and influence. The discovery of the New World presented a unique challenge. How should these newly discovered lands be divided? The Treaty of Tordesillas, signed in 1494, aimed to prevent conflict. It drew an imaginary line down the Atlantic Ocean. Lands east of the line went to Portugal, lands west went to Spain. This division had far-reaching consequences. While Spain focused its attention on the Americas, Portugal continued its push eastward. They were determined to find a sea route to Asia. Under the leadership of skilled navigators like Vasco da Gama, they made significant strides. In 1488, Bartolomeu Dias rounded the southern tip of Africa. This opened the way for further exploration. Then in 1498, Vasco da Gama achieved what had eluded explorers for centuries. He sailed around the Cape of Good Hope and reached India. This landmark voyage marked the beginning of a new era in global trade. Portugal established trading posts along the African coast and in India. They began to challenge the Arab monopoly on the spice trade. This brought them immense wealth and solidified their position as a major maritime power. The Portuguese Empire, though vast, was primarily focused on securing key ports and trade routes. They did not have the manpower or resources to conquer large territories. Their strategy was one of strategic alliances and naval dominance. This allowed them to control a vast trading network that stretched from Brazil in the west to the Spice Islands in the east. That's Section 5, Spanish strides across the Atlantic and beyond. While Portugal was busy establishing itself in the east, Spain was making its mark on the Americas. Following Columbus's initial voyage, a wave of conquistadors driven by gold, glory, and religious zeal descended upon the New World. Hernán Cortés conquered the Aztec Empire in Mexico. Francisco Pizarro subdued the Inca Empire in Peru. These conquests brought unimaginable wealth to Spain. They established a vast colonial empire that stretched from the southern tip of South America to the southwestern United States. Unlike Portugal's focus on trade, Spain's empire was built on conquest and extraction. They exploited the indigenous populations. They plundered the land for silver and gold. This exploitation fueled Spain's rise as a global superpower. It also left a legacy of brutality and oppression. Spain's expansion wasn't limited to the Americas. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer sailing for Spain, led the first expedition to circumnavigate the globe. This voyage, completed in 1522, further cemented Spain's claim as a dominant maritime power. Section 6. Clashes on the high seas, competition and conflict. The rivalry between Portugal and Spain wasn't confined to peaceful exploration and trade. They frequently clashed on the high seas. Both nations sought to protect their interests and undermine their rivals' ambitions. One such clash occurred in the Indian Ocean. The Portuguese, having established a foothold in the region, were determined to maintain their control over the spice trade. They faced challenges from Arab traders and encroaching European powers. The Spanish, eager to challenge Portugal's dominance, formed an alliance with the Ottoman Empire. This alliance aimed to disrupt Portuguese trade routes and weaken their grip on the region. These conflicts were characterized by daring raids, naval battles, and shifting alliances. They highlight the high stakes involved in the pursuit of empire and wealth. These clashes on the high seas were a testament to the fierce competition between these two European powers. They were a reminder that the quest for empire was often a brutal and bloody affair. Section 7. Empires of influence, cultural and linguistic legacies. The rivalry between Portugal and Spain had a profound impact on the world. It reshaped global trade routes. It also left an enduring cultural and linguistic legacy that is still evident today. Portugal's vast trading network facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas and cultures. Their language, Portuguese, took root in parts of Africa, Asia and South America. Today it is spoken by millions worldwide. This is a testament to Portugal's enduring influence. Spain's colonial legacy is equally significant. The Spanish language, religion and culture were deeply imprinted on the Americas. Today, Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world. This is a direct result of Spain's colonial past. The architectural styles, culinary traditions, and artistic expressions of both nations can be found in various corners of the globe. These cultural remnants serve as a reminder of the profound impact these two Iberian nations had on the world. Section 8. A world transformed, the enduring impact. The rivalry between Portugal and Spain, though fading into the annals of history, left an indelible mark on the world. It ushered in a new era of global exploration, trade, and interconnectedness. The discovery of the Americas and the establishment of new trade routes shifted the center of global power. Europe, once a peripheral region, rose to prominence. This marked the beginning of European global dominance. This dominance would last for centuries. The Columbian Exchange, the transfer of plants, animals, and diseases between the Old World and the New World, had a profound impact on global demographics, agriculture, and disease patterns. This exchange transformed societies on both sides of the Atlantic. It continues to shape the world we live in today. The rivalry between Portugal and Spain, while driven by self-interest and ambition, had unintended consequences. It connected the world in ways unimaginable just a few decades earlier. This led to a more globalized world, for better or worse. Section 9. Conclusion. Lessons from a bygone rivalry. The epic rivalry between Portugal and Spain during the Age of Exploration offers valuable lessons for the present day. It reminds us of the power of ambition, the allure of the unknown, and the enduring impact of human choices. The story of these two Iberian nations is a complex tapestry of exploration, conquest, and cultural exchange. It is a story of human ingenuity and ambition. It is also a story of greed, brutality, and the exploitation of indigenous populations. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, we would do well to remember the lessons of this bygone era. The pursuit of progress and prosperity must be tempered by ethical considerations, respect for cultural diversity, and a commitment to sustainable development. The rivalry between Portugal and Spain may be a distant memory, but its legacy lives on. It serves as a reminder of the enduring power of exploration, the transformative nature of globalization, and the importance of learning from the past as we shape the future.